Good morning, my dear students. I am Sucheta Das. I am from Krishna Public School, Nehru Nagar, Bhilai, and I am your English teacher. So, my dear students, today we will start grammar, lesson 17, and the title of the lesson is Agreement of the Verb with its Subject. Now, what is the meaning of agreement of the verb with its subject? When the subject and the verb should agree with each other, either in the number or in person, we call it as agreement of the verb with its subject. Acha, my dear students, you all know that every sentence starts with a subject. It could be a noun or a pronoun. Then it is further followed with a verb and finally the object. So this subject, whether it is a noun or it is a pronoun, it should always agree to the verb. There are certain rules which I am going to explain. Our first rule is, when you are getting a singular subject, when your subject is singular, the verb which is following it should always be singular. The subject can be noun or it can be a pronoun. My dear students, here I have written one example for this. Like Kavita writes a letter. Kavita is the name of a girl. She is singular. This singular subject always followed with a singular verb. And how do you come to know that the verb is singular? The verb which ends with S or AS, we considered it as a singular verb. Now coming to rule 2. Where the subject is a plural one, it should always follow with a plural verb only. For example, boys play cricket. Boys, it is a plural subject, right? Verb is also plural one. How you come to know that the verb is plural? My dear students, whenever your verb is simply in the first form of it, we are not adding any S or ES in that. It means it is a plural verb. Now rule number 3 is, when there are two singular subjects. Okay? Now you can see in the example, this gold is a singular subject and this silver is also a singular subject. But when we take both together, both will become together a plural one. Clear? That is why the verb which is following it also have to be the plural one. Am I clear? Like gold and silver are precious metals. Here gold, separately these two are singular subjects. But when we are taking it together, this gold and silver, it shows the plural sense. That is why it is followed with the plural verb, or even we can say auxiliary verb. This R is the helping verb. Okay. Now rule number 4. Rule number 4 is, when two singular subjects, okay, when there are two singular subjects like bread and butter, but both are giving the same idea. Like in this sentence, bread and butter is a wholesome food. Bread is a singular subject and butter is also a singular subject. But altogether it is giving a same sense, a same idea, singular idea. So the verb which is being followed for this, it should be a singular verb. Am I clear? Now rule number 5. Two singular subjects. Okay. Whenever these two subjects are connected with or as well as, the verb followed should always be a singular verb. Now you all will think, now just before ma'am explained ki when there are two singular subjects joined together, we have to follow a plural verb, then how come it happened? My dear students, this is because we will only consider the first subject only. Means in this example, we will consider silver only. Whenever you are getting as well as or with, connecting the two different subjects, we will always consider the first subject and thus we will write the singular verb with this. Clear? Rule number 6 is when two singular subjects are joined with or not, it should always be followed with a singular verb. For example, neither food nor water was to be found there. These both are two singular subjects and the verb followed is a singular verb. Okay? Verb or helping verb, anything we can consider. Now coming to rule number 7. Rule number 7 is either, neither, each, everyone, many, a, must. All these words, if they are joining two singular subjects, it should always be followed with a singular verb because as these words are joining two separate subjects but as a whole they are giving only one idea. So we will consider it as a singular subject and that is why it should always be followed with the singular verb. Now coming to rule number 8, this is the collective noun rule. As you have already done this, when we are talking about, for example, a bee. A bee is a singular bee, but when we are talking about a swarm of bees, then the swarm collectively is considered as the singular one. That is why it gives a singular sense. It gives a singular subject. That is why it is followed with a singular verb. Now, rule number 9 is when the subject is in singular form. Now my dear students, you please try to understand it nicely. When the subject is in singular form, but the meaning of it gives a plural sense. The subject is in singular form, but the meaning is in plural, then the verb is being followed is a plural one because whenever we are doing with any plural subject, we are just adding the plural verb to. For example, people. Here people, it gives a singular form. The word people is a singular form, but it gives a plural sense. That is why people are gathered here. The helping verb which is being followed is a plural one. Our last rule number 10 is when the subject is plural, but it denotes quantity or amount. Okay? Subject is a plural one, but when it denotes some quantity or amount, it should always consider it as a whole, a single one, and that is why whenever we are taking any singular subject, you all now you come to know that it always be followed with a singular verb only. For example, 10 kilometers. See, 10 is a plural subject. 10 kilometers, it is a plural subject. But why it is being followed with a singular helping verb? Just because, as I told you, that the subject can be plural, but when it is denotes with the quantity or amount, it always considered as a whole, a singular unit, because it is giving a single idea. Okay? Now, various rules you have learnt regarding this topic, agreement of the verb with subject, and now you can come to the conclusion that whenever we have to frame a meaningful sentence in our English grammar, you should always remember the point that our subject should always agree with the verb under these certain